Okay, this is a little late night cleveland.com action on Ari's couch. It's kind of what we do. We just finished recording our podcast that you can listen to on SoundCloud, on iTunes. It's the Bad Podcast, B-A-D Podcast. If you haven't listened to it yet, it's like a video, but not looking at us.
Which is better.
And longer.
Yeah, because I think people enjoy hearing us, but who would want to look at this?
Especially now. We didn't necessarily plan to shoot a video, but Ohio State made a quarterback change today, so we wanted to talk about that. Maybe you heard about it. JT Barrett's going to start against Rutgers. What do we think he's going to do? Is he going to step in and be great? Is this offense going to be like it was in the fourth quarter against Penn State, the whole game against Rutgers? Or do we think that maybe there's going to be some fits and starts to this, the way they had fits and starts with Cardale Jones? Bill Landis, what do you think Saturday night, JT Barrett, Game 8, his first start, what will it be like?
I think it's going to look good because they're playing Rutgers, and Rutgers' defense is really bad. Kind of in the same way that the two-quarterback system looked awesome the first time they used it because they were playing Maryland. So I think whatever happens on Saturday night against Rutgers kind of needs to be understood in that light, that they're playing a team that has not been very good on defense all year. That said, I think it will look different. I think it will be more crisp than it has looked, just because that's the way that JT Barrett plays. He's the point guard. He's the game manager. He gets it out quickly. He's not running around trying to extend plays. If he makes up his mind he's going to run, he's going to take off and get as many yards as he can. So I think Ohio State's offense will be more efficient, certainly look that way on Saturday.
You know, I was thinking about this. I feel like there's, to some degree, we've been trying to tell people that, this wasn't like Cardale Jones' fault, really. You know, that I keep saying he didn't seize the day, but I think there were a lot of things in place with the offense, the play calling, the receivers, the way the offensive line played that didn't help him. One thing I will say, though, did Cardale Jones have an awesome game? Was there a game when Cardale Jones was like, wow?
I thought, what's the guy got to do to host on his own couch, by the way?
You host on this couch 364 days a year. This is my one shot.
I thought he looked really good against Virginia Tech. I mean, after the game was over, I don't know. When we walked down from the press box after the Virginia Tech game, I had the feeling of, well, they're back.
And that he was the guy.
Yeah, he was the guy. And that was the story, and that was what we saw. And even though they were trailing at halftime when they hit that second quarter lull, what did they do? First drive in the second half, he hits Braxton for a huge touchdown, and they blow him out.
You know, and I do think that's interesting in all this. That second week when they played Hawaii and they didn't look great, sort of after that fact, we heard a lot about, well, it was a short week, and it was. They got back late. They didn't have as many days of practice. And I felt like they used that as an excuse maybe for, like, sort of why the whole offense didn't look that good. I didn't really feel like Cardale Jones got to use that as an excuse, though. It's like he got yanked. He looked good against Virginia Tech in week 1 and got pulled in the second quarter with Ohio State leading in week 2. And I think maybe if that wouldn't happen, maybe we'd be in a different spot. Anyway, that's kind of water under the bridge. How is JT gonna look Saturday?
What was the final score last year? It was like 49-10 or something?
52-17, I think. He had 5 touchdowns.
That's what I think it should look like, right?
You think it will?
I just don't think that there's no more. What is it, week 7 or 8? It's week 8. I mean,
but do you expect to see the good JT Barrett that we saw when he was a good JT Barrett last year?
I thought that we saw the good JT Barrett from last year last week, in my opinion. I mean, I know he didn't throw it quite as much as he did in the season last year, but I thought the offense when he was on the field looked like it was in sync. They had a pep about their step. They were moving the ball up and down the field with ease. Against the Penn State defense, that's probably leaps and bounds better than Rutgers. I know it's on the road. I know it's a night game, but I expect JT Barrett to put up one of those 5 touchdown games. Yeah, I do.
I'm very curious to see two things. A team that prepared for JT Barrett, and I think teams have prepared for both, and I think Rutgers was saying this week they'll prepare for both. But if JT Barrett's the starter, Rutgers will prepare more for him, and he's got to throw it. I want to see JT Barrett throw it at least 20 times against Rutgers.
Yeah, if you're Rutgers, you have to make JT Barrett throw the ball because he hasn't done it. I agree in the running game, he looked like the old JT Barrett last week. He threw 4 passes, and only one of those was more than 6 yards down the field. So I think you have to make JT Barrett throw the ball and make him prove that he is the guy he was last year.
And he didn't throw it great against Northern Illinois, which is maybe why it took him this long to get the job.
I saw JT Barrett throw the ball for an entire season, so I'm not
saying he can't.
Yeah, no, I know you're not. I'm just saying it's not a worry if you're an Ohio State fan in my mind whether he can do it or not. I know it's a fact he can do it. It's just about getting into a groove. So maybe he'll start off slow, but I don't doubt that he can throw the ball.
I'm curious to see a game plan that incorporates him making the kind of throws that fit him and the kind of throws that can get this offense going. But if they dominate Rutgers and JT Barrett is like 8 for 12, I'm still going to have questions about this offense. I think JT Barrett needs to be 17 for 24 to say, okay, everything's 100% back to what he was a year ago.
I'd like to see the Michigan State game plan from last year.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Last year against Rutgers, I think he threw for just over 300, and he ran for more than 100. Yeah.
That's the bar.
Dad, there's a White Castle commercial on. It looks so good.
There's do you want people to come to your couch?
No. Yeah, I mean, depends on who you are.
He doesn't want us to be here, though. So he's Bill Landis. I'm Doug Lamarice. He's Ari Wasserman. Again, we are on Ari's couch in Ari's apartment, and you're not.
Run the pause.